Are you thinking about going electric, but you don't want to pick and drive a model that, well, looks like an electric car? Well, stick around, because this here is the new Genesis Electrified GV70, and this just might be the one you're looking for. This electrified version of the Genesis GV70 is a standard all-wheel drive dual motor system, and it is supplied by a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, which is the same battery that is available as an option with the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, and the Kia EV6. There's no 58 kilowatt hour option with the Genesis as there is with the other models there, so it's just 77.4 kilowatt as standard supply. With that combination of the dual motor and the battery, what you get is a spunky ride. You have a total net combined output of 429 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. That is a lot of fun in this electric vehicle, but let's just say it's not enough. Even if for a brief period of time you need a little bit more, maybe you've got to get past somebody with even more power than 429. Well, relax, folks. Genesis in this GV70 has got you covered. Here's what they've done. So if you need a little extra oomph for a period of time in the GV70 Electrified, what you do is you go to the bottom and you see this button called Boost. When you press Boost for 10 seconds, your output jumps from 429 horsepower to 483. And it's a lot of fun. We had this in the GV60 as well, and it was a blast. This will be a blast here too. In fact, let's do a little demonstration. So, getting it ready into drive, and I'm going to press Boost. I now have 10 seconds, so might as well use it. Here we go. And we're already at 100 right now. That was like 4.5 seconds is what it's supposed to be. That was a blast. God, that's a boost. Boost your adrenaline too. With all the power on offer, the effective driving range for the electrified GV70 is less than any of the Ioniq or Kia EV models with the same battery size. It comes in at 383 kilometers or 236 miles. However, in ideal weather conditions, such as what I had during my week-long test, I was able to exceed this estimate by about 15%. But despite the extra power, the electrified GV70 still managed to maintain a respectable energy efficiency rating, which I'm posting here in various formats. And similar to my better than posted range figures, I was able to better the energy efficiency rating for the week as well. A combination multi-rapid charging system allows eGV70 owners to utilize various forms of charging infrastructure. The system enables fast and stable charging by raising the voltage supplied by typical chargers from 400 volts to 800 volts, and owners can use both 400 and 800 volt charging infrastructure without the need for an additional converter. Similar to its cousins from Hyundai and Kia, the electrified GV70 is also capable of fast charging from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes using a 350 kilowatt charging station, and it's something I was able to test out and verify personally. The electrified Genesis GV70 is a good choice for someone looking to be electric but not showing off as electric, because it really is the GV70. It is built on the same platform, unlike the GV60, which is Genesis' first vehicle built entirely on a dedicated electric platform. This is not. It is the shared platform with the gas version just modified. And so from an exterior design perspective, it looks very similar. You might not notice it's electric unless you're looking for some few key things. So there's things that you will not see on here, and there are things that you will see that tip off it's electric. So what's not here? Nothing here on the front quarter panel. GV70 here, but not electric. Anything here? Nothing. What is here on the back, though, of course, is a redesigned rear bumper. It's not as aggressive, and no need for tailpipes. There's no dual exhaust, so that's a giveaway. One change that is noticeable would be here on the front. On the regular GV70, the crest grille has been replaced by this more aerodynamic, what they call G-matrix pattern. And the real cool thing is up front here, you push it open, and that's where you have your charge port, which would also give you another thing to look for, notice, on the electrified GV70, which is There's no fuel door, not on the passenger side or on the driver's side, and it's probably something you won't notice right away, but now that I've told you, you go, oh yeah, that's probably one of the differences. So the GV70 and the electrified version are very similar in design overall. There's just a few changes that you have to notice, and that could be a good thing if you want to be more blending in per se, as opposed to standing out because of certain features that are obviously part of an electrified vehicle. The interior of the electrified GV70 is essentially the same as the non-electric variant, but that's okay since the design is modern, properly driver-centric, and full of premium touchpoints and finishes. Top-level prestige trim models, such as what I was driving, adds a two-tone glacial white option with copper piping and a refined quilting pattern in the Napa leather seating. The 12.3-inch digital information cluster found in the Prestige trim was highly visible and tracked eye movements while displaying a stereoscopic 3D image. There is also a customizable heads-up display that effectively projected out selectable information to minimize the need to look away. The focal point of the interior is the 14.5-inch HD center screen, which is managed by a touch controller, which also includes a handwriting recognition feature and is located along the center console. Also on the center console is where other key controls, such as the rotator drive selector and other tactile touchpoints, are located. Ambient lighting in the electrified GV70 had additional illuminated panels located on the driver doors that weren't in the non-electrified version I tested when the model first launched. And while prominent ambient lighting may not be for everyone, I really enjoyed the look and color choices available here when driving this vehicle at night. As mentioned earlier, this electrified GV70 is not built on a dedicated EV platform such as the GV60 is, and in the past, this usually meant notable reductions in interior passenger volume or cargo capacity when thinking about modified platforms not too many years ago. Fortunately though, with this electrified GV70, the reductions are minimal, as passenger volume is only reduced by slightly less than 1 cubic foot, and second row legroom is reduced by less than 1 inch. Now, given that this is a smaller crossover to begin with, it can be noticeable for taller individuals, but overall, the reductions are barely an issue. Rear cargo volume is 28.7 cubic feet, which is virtually unchanged from the gas variant and is on par with other luxury crossovers of this size. There is a small frunk up front, which would be good for storing charging cables and other small portable items, but not much else. The electrified GV70 is made for North American customers at the brand's production facility in Montgomery, Alabama. It's offered in 2 trim levels known as Advanced and Prestige. However, Canadians will only be offered the Prestige trim at this time, and US distribution will be limited to only 15 states initially. The electrified GV70 will compete against the Polestar 2, Mercedes EQB and EQE SUVs, the BMW iX, and the Audi Q4 e-tron. Here are pricing details for Canadian and US buyers, as well as the list of US states where the eGV70 will be available. This electrified GV70 might not look electric, but it sure does drive and function like one, and it does so really, really well. I was a big fan of the GV60, still might be one of my favorite electrics so far. This is pretty close too. It's really spunky, and hey, I mean, if you don't like looking like one, you're really going to enjoy this. It's fun to drive, and Genesis seems to have really done it well. So it's the only challenge might be right now is finding one, because it's limited availability both in the US and Canada. So that being said, if you can get a hold of one, get behind the wheel. You're really going to like this. I did too. That's it for this review, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you are subscribed, make sure you've rung the bell so you're notified of every time I upload something new. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Novak. I'll see you next time.